you know that 1.4 billion people live below the poverty line? How about the fact that 9 million children under the age of 5 die every year, even though 6 million of the deaths are preventable? According to Compassion International, to be below the poverty line, one must make under $1.25 per day. To a minimum wage worker in Ohio, that much is made in less than 10 minutes of work. I'm very passionate about this topic because I feel that all people should have access to basic needs such as food, water, and medication. Therefore, I sponsor a young child in Bolivia through Compassion International. Today I will give you information about poverty and discuss why sponsoring these people that are less fortunate than us is important. First, let's talk about some of the startling facts that can be found on Compassion International's website in 2013. 884 million people, or 12% of the world, do not have access to clean water. Approximately 2.5 billion people, or 2/5 of the world, don't have access to adequate sanitation. 3 million of the deaths that occur in children 5 and under each year are due to malnutrition. Once you include children older than 5, it jumps to 6 million deaths per year. If you include all of the people of all ages, malnutrition and hunger causes 9 million deaths per year. 1 out of every 7 people battles hunger every day. Malaria, together with HIV, AIDS, and tuberculosis, is one of the major public health challenges undermining development in the poorest countries in the world. Malaria kills approximately 1 million children per year. Also, 1 out of every 6 babies is not immunized against tuberculosis. Children under age 5 account for less than 10% of the world's population, but suffer from 40% of the world's diseases attributed to environmental factors. Worldwide, there are 781 million illiterate adults, and 64% of those are women. There are many more shocking facts that can be found on this topic, which is why it is so large of a problem. There are many people dying and going hungry that don't need to, and this is where we can step in. Many people feel that they can't make a difference in these alarming statistics. However, I feel that they absolutely can. Many people in America have been extremely blessed by God, and these statistics help to show that even more. I feel that since we have been blessed, we should return the glory to Him by blessing others. A way to do this is to sponsor a child or family. It may not seem like much, but if even 1/7 of the world sponsored one person each, everyone below the poverty line would be sponsored and getting some of what they need to survive. Compassion International also does a great job of getting God's Word to the people in these developing countries. In a write-up by KULR 8's News on July 4th, 2013, Pastor Wedlick is quoted on the topic. He says, quote, "True religion is to care for orphans and widows in their distress, and by doing that, keeping yourself unstained by the world. For us, we reflect the heart of God probably best when we care for people who are the most helpless when they can't help themselves," unquote. When we help those who are less fortunate than us, we can really change the world. Sponsoring children can make huge changes in their lives and futures. Not only does sponsoring someone improve their chance of survival, it also helps them to achieve more in their life. According to Christianity Today, on June 14, 2013, sponsorship makes children 27 to 40% more likely to complete secondary school and 50 to 80% more likely to complete a university education. Also, Compassion's results extend beyond school attendance, because when the sponsored child grows up, he or she is 14 to 18% more likely to obtain a salaried job and 35% more likely to obtain a white-collar job. Many of the Compassion-sponsored children today become teachers as adults instead of remaining jobless or working in menial agricultural labor. Christianity Today also found some evidence that they are more likely to grow up to be both community leaders and church leaders. To sponsor a child through Compassion International, it only costs $38 per month. To many Americans, that is a small price that could be covered by skipping one sit-down dinner per month. But to the child you sponsor, that cost means hope. It helps them to get the food and water that they need and receive the medications. It also helps them to receive an education and to learn about God. My mother and I sponsor a young boy named John, and I am excited to see how God works through us in his life. It is a great feeling to receive letters from him because you can tell how much the chance to be sponsored means to him. So, if you have been blessed by God in your finances, then consider sponsoring a child and helping them see God working in their life. It won't only change their life, but it will also change yours. Matthew chapter 25, verses 35 through 40 says, "For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. for I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me. I was in prison and you came to visit me. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothing and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you? The king will reply, Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. I feel that this is God telling us that it's our duty to help and care for the people who are less fortunate than us. He has blessed us, therefore we should use our blessings to bless others. There are many people living hungry and in poverty, and we have the capability to change that. Sponsoring one child could make a huge difference. It can save their life and give them a chance to grow into the magnificent plans that God has for them. So today, I ask for you to consider making the commitment to sponsor a child in need. It will not only change their life, it will also be a blessing in yours.